Hello guys, my name is Nicholas from Exolvate Games team and welcome to a new C++ Unreal Engine 5 tutorial. Today we are in part 4 of making Spatial Inventory System. In the previous part we have made the items that we are going to pick up, and in this part we are going to create the backend logic for adding those items into our items array. Basically, that items array is going to correspond with our grid inventory 1 to 1, and each tile is going to represent the one space in our items array. So I think that that should cover everything, so yeah, let's begin the work. Hello guys, welcome back to part 4 of making Spatial Inventory System. In the previous part we have made our items basically that we can pick up, and today we are going to create a backend logic for adding them to our items array that we are going to create. So the one thing that I did and I didn't showed, basically I just closed the files that we are not going to use, and that will be files for our AK-47, knife and grenade, so you can do that too, just close them. And the next step is to basically declare a new variable here in the itembase.header file. And we are going to do that here below this public right here. And let me just see my other project. Okay, and that will be a variable of a type fint point. And this fint point is basically something like f vector 2d, but it basically has two values of an integer. So yeah, have that in mind. And we are going to name it dimensions. Basically this variable right here that we declared of name dimensions will be actually the dimensions that the item that we picked up is going to take in our inventory. So it is going to have two values, the x and the y, because we have a grid inventory and it needs to take some columns and some rows in the x direction and the y direction. So yeah, have that in mind, and we need to give it a specifier of edit anywhere, so we can for each item set the basically dimensions. Okay, or basically you can just set the edit instance only if you want to have the same items but with different dimensions. And we are going to give it a category of let's say item info, and then we are going to have a subcategory of dimensions, because later we are going to declare for icons, variables for icons, etc. that are going to be in this category right here, but they will have the separate subcategory, so you get the point. And the next thing that we need to do is to basically create a function that is going to return this value right here. So basically that is some kind of a getter function for our dimensions variable, because later we are going to use that dimensions variable in the other files, because we need to check how big is our item, and we need to see if we have enough space in our inventory, and etc. You will see later. And basically I think that we can just move this into our protected, because we are going to create a getter function. So let's just here type void and get dimensions. Okay, and now we need to basically create a definition. So right click on it, quick actions and refactorings, and create definition of get dimensions in itembase.cpp. And we are going to move it a little bit down, so just something like this. And we are going to actually fix our function, because we do not want it to return nothing, but we want it to return a variable that is a type of fint point. So basically that will be this dimensions variable right here. And we need to fix it right here too, and we are going to just type return dimensions. Okay, And we can declare it to be like a const, because why not? Our engine is basically suggesting us to do that, so let's do that right now. I'm just going to type here const. Okay. And then I think that's it for now. The one thing before creating the logic for adding the items that we picked up in our items array is to go to our, let me see, grid inventory.cpp, and here on the begin overlap we need just to basically delete this print string, and we are going to type, let me see in my other project, okay, we are just going to type other actor, and then this minus greater sign, destroy, and you will see what this line of code is doing. So let me just launch my Unreal Engine. Okay. Let's see if there's any error. There's not. Cool. Okay. So the thing behind the dimensions is basically, let me just show you. Let's click on one items, and this is these dimensions right here. So basically, you see that here in the editor we can set the dimensions that we want for our item. And basically, maybe I want from my AK-47 to take the four columns and the 2 rows. So when we want to pick it up for grenade, I want let's say one column and 1 row, and for the knife I want, let's say, 1 columns and 2 rows. So yeah, that's it. We just have specified the dimensions. And basically, let's say if we want to pick the AK, it is going to, if of course we have enough space for that AK, it is going to take all of these tiles, so 5 columns and 2 rows. So yeah, but we do not have the logic yet for that. We are going to do that in this part. And basically the reason why I typed other actor and then minus and greater sign destroy is this. So we have something like representing that we picked item up. So let me see, when we overlap with our item, you will see that it has disappeared. So that is a sign that we picked up our item. I think that we are now ready to create a logic behind adding those items to our items array. So let's do that right now. Okay, so we now can begin the work about backend logic for adding our items into our items array. And we are going to do that here in the inventory component files, or basically inventory component class. So let me just see my other project. We have several functions that we need to make, but before that we need to create an array that will store our items. So just type t array and then this less greater sign, and we need to specify a class, so it will be a item base, and let's just name it items. Basically, in this array right here, we are going to store the items that will be a class of a item base, but we are getting this red line right here. So we just need to import that class, and we are going to do that here about this u class. So just type class and then copy and paste it like this. Okay, and the red line has disappeared. The first function that we are going to basically declare will be a function that will return a boolean value, so basically the true or the false, and it will be try add item, because this function will actually try to add our item, depends on the condition that we are going to set up later, but for now just type bool try add item, and for parameter we need an item that we are going to add. So just type item to add. That is all right. Now let's create a quick. Let's just create a definition for that function right here, and like I said, we are going just basically to try to add an item to our inventory. It depends on the conditions that we are going to set up later. And basically now let's go to our grid inventory character.cpp, and because of that our function is returning the true or false value, like if we are able to add our item to our inventory, it will return true. So let's just go here in the grid inventory character, and let's delete this destroy function. We now need to check if we actually added our item successfully, or basically if this function right here returned true. So let's go to grid inventory character class, and we need to type inventory component because we have made that function in inventory component class, and then we need to find our function that is checking if we can add item or not. And the item that we are going to add will be this item right here. So this item, that is a class of a item base, and basically if we can add that item, we're just going to type other actor and then destroy. So basically the visual representation of item will be destroyed if we have enough space, and etc. Okay, so let's go back now to our inventory component. So now we need to write some logic for that function right here. The first thing that we need to check is our item that we are adding, if it's valid. So just type if and then item to add. I'm using this truthy value, so you have truthy or falsy values. And the first thing that we are going to do is to basically loop throughout our items array. Yeah, just type integer 32, the first index will be 0, and the last index will be items dot num. Basically I said previously that this dot num gets the size of this array right here, and our index will be incremented by 1. Okay, and now we need basically to write another function that will be basically is room available. That function right here is going to check for us if we have enough space in our inventory for items that we want to pick up. So let's go to our .header file, and let's just here below this triad item, let's type bool, and yeah, again this function right here will return the true or false value if we have enough space or not. So just type is room available. Okay, and the parameters that we need to specify will be basically the items that basically the item that we are adding. So that will be item to add. And the second parameter that we need will be top left index. Basically the top left index later we are going to convert in a tile where our item is going to be added. So have that in mind. Now let's just create a definition for that function. Let me check in my other project. Okay, so that's okay. Let's just delete this return. And the first thing that we are going to do is basically get the dimensions of our items. So that is this function right here that is returning this dimension, the dimensions value that we are specifying in editor. So yeah, Okay, let's just type f int point dimensions equals. So now we have this item to add. This is a class of a item base. So just type f in point dimensions equals item to add, and then this minus greater sign. And then we need get dimensions function, but we have this red line right here. That is because we need to include our item base that is holding the reference of our items. Okay, so just type include and then item base dot header, and okay, the red line will disappear, I think, and yeah, it is. So like I said, this top left index later we are going to convert into the tile that where our item is going to be added. So let's do that right now. We need to create a new function that is called index to basically index to tile, and yeah, let's do that right now. So go to your .header file. Okay, so the value, or basically the type of value that our function index to tile is going to return, will be a type of f in point. So just type index to tile, because like I said, we need to convert our index to our tile. Basically we need to convert the value that is 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. to our x and y coordinates, and the parameters that is going to take, it will be integer, and that will be our top left index. Okay, so let's just create a definition for our function. And basically let's just delete this return. The way we are going to do that, basically we are going to return f in point, because we already set that our function is returning that type of value, and like I said, this f in point will return two values of an integer, something like f vector 2d, but it returns two integers. And the way we are going to do that is basically just this top left index, or basically let's just type index, because it will be universal for other functions where we are going to use this index to tile function. And just we need to mod our index with the number of columns, and we need to divide our index with number of columns, so like a y value for our f in point. Okay, because again, like I said, we are returning two integer values, and we just need to divide our index with the number of columns. So now let's back to our is room available, and now we need to just specify a new variable, and that will be a variable of f in point, and I will give it a name of a tile. So let's just convert our top left index to tile. Our function is called index to tile, and we need here to specify our top left index. Okay, and now we want to loop over each tile that item would occupy if it was added at the inventory at top left index. Basically we need to loop horizontal throughout horizontal and throughout vertical. So let's do that right now. Okay, we need a for loop. The first index will be tile dot x, and the last index will be basically a tile x, basically the x value of our tile, plus the x value of our dimensions minus 1, and basically we're going to set that our index is incrementing by 1. And now we are looping throughout horizontals, but now we need to loop for verticals. So let's do it right now. We need to specify the different index, and that will be j. So just type integer 32j. So now we need to type the first index will be tile.y. We are getting the y value of our tile, and you guessed, we are doing the same thing for our second for loop, but we need this y values actually, and here we need j. So we are just going to type j++, basically our function is going to return the true, or basically it will show us that we can add the item that we are overlapping with when everything gets passed by. So just here we need to return true. And here inside the for loops, we need to basically we are getting this y and j, the j indexes. So basically we are getting tile from these values. So we need to create a function for them to check if they are valid, or basically if item that we want to pick up will go out of bounds of our inventory, we definitely want to return false here in the is room available, or basically we do not want to pick that item up. So we are going to do that right now here in the header file. So just we need to again type bool, and then we are going to name it is tile valid, and it is going to take a parameter of f int point. Just type f int point tile, again it is going to return the true or the false value if our tile is valid or not. So let's go back to our .cpp file. And the first thing that we need to do is if check. So if is tile valid, we are now going to pass the tile that we want to check, and we are going to type f int point, and then the first index, or basically the x index of x value actually of that tile will be index I, and the y value of that tile will be index j. But we still don't have the definition for our function for our is tile valid. So that let's do that right now. So quick actions and refactorings. Create definition, and basically we need to do one check. So we're going to do that if our tile, or basically the tile that we are passing in, the x value is greater or equals to 0, and also we need to check if the y value of our tile is greater or equals to 0. Also we need to check if our x value of our tile is less than number of columns. And we need to do that also for the rows. So if the y value of our tile is less than the number of rows, so we are going to return the true. So in that situation our tile will be valid, and if it's not, we are going to just return false. So yeah, have that in mind. And now we need to go to our is room available function, and we need to basically get that tile right here, and we need to convert that tile to index, because later we want to check or basically to get the item, or actually to see if there's an item already at that index, or basically the tile that we are going to convert into index. So let's just type integer 32 index equals tile to index function. Or actually we don't have that function yet. Okay, so we have the function for converting the index to tile, and now we need a function that will convert our tile to index. So we are going to do that right now. Basically that function right here will be the opposite of our index to tile function. So let's declare that function here in the .header file. Okay, that function is going to return the value of an integer, and we are going to name it tile to index. The value that is going to be passed in is going to be our tile, and like I said, it is going to be an opposite of our index to tile function. So let's just type, let's declare the variable that we are going to return. So let me just do like this, return index. Okay, and we now need to type tile x, or basically the x value of our tile. We need to add with our y value of our tile, and we need to multiply it by number of columns. So now we declared our function. We can now go back to our inventory component .cpp, and let me just check in my other project. Okay. Because there's a lot of information, and sorry about that, but I need to take a look into my other project. Okay, so here we are in isROM available function, and we need to declare a new variable, and that will be an index that we converted from this tile right here. So let's type just integer 32 index equals tile to index, and then we're just going to copy and paste it. Okay, and now we need to check if there's already an item in that index. So basically, if that index is valid or not. And if there's already something at that index, we want to return the false in that situation, because we do not want to set the item where already is another item. So yeah, you get the point. We are going to create two new functions. So one will be for if there's an item or not, or basically it will return the true or false value, and the other one will be for returning the item that is on that index. So you get the point. It is a little bit complicated, but don't worry, just try to think how the data flows throughout this code, and I don't know, just turn on your logic on 100%, and I'm sure that you are going to figure it out. Okay, and like I said, if anything is unclear, just comment down below, and our team is going to help you. Okay, and I did a mistake here, and that is that we basically created the implementation here in the .header file. Okay, so we're not going to do that. We are going to create definition for our function. So just right click on it, quick actions and refactoring, create definition, and we are just going to copy and paste the code, or basically the paste code that we copied before. And we need to basically declare two new functions. So like I said, the first one will return the bool value, and we are going to name it get result at index, and it will take an index where we are checking if there's an item or not. Okay, let's do that for now like this, and the next one will be a function that will return the item at that index. Okay, I'm going to name it get item at index, and the value that it needs to be passed in will be again index, because like I said, we are checking at every index if there's an item or not. Okay, let's go back to our .cpp code, and here we need to basically, or let me just first we need to create a logic for our two items. So let's just create the definitions for them, and for the other one, okay, create definition. Let's just delete these two returns, And okay, so first we need to check if first we need to do an if check. So in the if check we're going to type items dot is valid index, and we are going to pass in the index that we are passing it in this function. So just like this. And if our index, or yeah, basically if our index is valid, it is going to return true. And if it's not valid, it is going to return false. And we need to do that for our get item at index function. So we're just going to copy and paste it like this, but we need to delete this return true and false, because we are not returning the bool value, but we are returning the item that we are basically checking if it's on that index or not. So let's just type items, and we are going to just get the item at that index from our items array. And if it's not basically if our index is not valid, we are just going to return a null pointer. So that's the reason why we are using this pointer right here. And now we need to basically do another check here in isRoomAvailable, and we need to get result at index. Okay, and we need to get to pass in this index right here. Basically, this is index that we created from the tile that we are getting from these two indexes, I and j. So have that in mind. I'm trying to explain it again. And we are just checking, okay, if there's item or not, and it will return a true or false value. And we need inside of that we need to do another check if our get item at index is returning the item or not. So yeah, we need to type get item at index, get item at index, and the index that we need to pass in will be this index right here. Basically, we are checking if at that index right here is some kind of item. So if there is an item, we, like I said, we do not want to set the item on the top of that item, because that index, or basically that tile, is already taken by some other item. And we are just going to return false. And here, if we basically here in the get result at index, if our index is not valid, we just want to return the false. So don't return false for this check right here, but for this check right here that is returning the true or false value. So we just want to return the false again. And we need to return the false for this check right here, is tile valid. So just type else, and then we need to type return false. And basically, like I said, the only time where our items, when our function isRoomAvailable is going to return true, it is going to only to return true if if our code gets passed by everything. So yeah, it is going to return true. So we created our isRoomAvailable function, and now we need to go here in our try add item function. And like I said, this try add item function will basically try to add our item in our inventory if there's basically enough space, and that is the reason why we created this isRoomAvailable function. So let's just do that check. Let's type if, and then we need to type is room available. and then we need to pass in two parameters. One will be the item that we are adding, and the other one is basically the top left index that we converted to a tile, and that tile is representing where our item is going to be added. So the first one will be this item to add, and the second one will be this index right here from this loop, because we are looping throughout our items array. Okay, so just type I, and the next function that we need to create will be a function for basically adding our item at a specified index. But before that, here when we have enough space in our inventory to add an item that we are overlapping with, we are just going to return true, because here we have made the function that is returning the boolean value, and when it's just gets passed by everything, we are going to return false, and if our item is not valid, we are just going to return false again. So let's just create that add item at specified index function. Okay, so let's go to our inventory component.header file, and now we need to declare that function. That function is not going to return anything. It is just going to do some logic for us, because yeah, like I said, it is not going to return anything. And I'm going to call it add item at, or you can call it add item at index, or add item at specified index, or I don't know. It's a new. The first parameter will be item that we are adding to our inventory, so just a item base, item to add, and the second one will be the top left index. So just integer 32 top left index. Okay, and now we need to basically create a definition for that function. So right click on it, then quick actions and refactorings, and create a definition. Okay, and okay, good place for our function. So the first thing that we are going to do is basically copy some of the code from this is room available, and we are actually going to copy everything, and we are going to delete some code that we don't need. So we don't need this right here. Basically we don't need these checks right here. And we don't need this return true. We are not basically returning anything, and we are just going to basically add the item at specified index. So just type items and then brackets. We need to type tile to index, and we need to specify the tile that is formatted by these two indexes. So let's just type f int point, and then the first value of our tile will be index I, and the second one will be j, and on the end we just need to type item to add. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do basically is to here in our try add item basically call that function right here that we created, add item at, because we want to add that item at a specified index. So just type add item at. And the first parameter will be the item that we want to be added. So that will be this item to add right here. And the top left index that we want will be this integer, not integer, but it is actually a type of an integer, but this is an index. Okay, and the very last thing before testing it out is basically to initialize the size of our items array. So that is very important thing, because here when we declared it, let me just find it, we didn't initialize the size of that. We didn't initialize the size of that array, so we are going to do that here in the grid inventory character.cpp every time when we begin our simulation. So we are going to do that here below this check, and we are going to just type inventory component. Okay, inventory component, and then we need items array, and then we need a function that is called set num. So basically this set num function will help us to change the size of our array. So basically, let me just give you an example. If we want to have in our inventory 5 columns and 2 rows, when you multiply that, we will have basically 10 tiles. So yeah, you get the point. That is the way it is going to work. So let me just get this inventory component reference, and we're going to type minus greater columns multiply by inventory component, and then rows. Okay, and we have added everything. We have basically called the function right here. Okay, so basically now we can test it out. Let me just build my code, and let's see if there's any errors. I hope there's not. Okay, and let's launch my Unreal Engine. Because I'm saying again, I'm not a big fan of live coding. Okay, so here we are in our Unreal Engine. So basically the first thing that we are going to do is to go to our BP underscore third person character. And we are going to basically open full blueprint editor, and here in the inventory component I'm going to decrease the size of my inventory. So I'm going just to compile and save it, and basically if I begin simulation and open my inventory, you will see that I have the size of my spatial inventory is the size of 5 columns and 2 rows. And if I show you, our AK-47 item is also the size of 5 columns and 2 rows. So basically, if I try to pick it up, our AK-47 item will take all the free space in our spatial inventory, and basically we pick it up. So the behavior that we want, because we don't anymore have any free space in our inventory, is basically that we're not going to be able to pick those 2 items. So let's just try to do that. And yeah, if you take a closer look, we are not able to pick those items. But if we try to basically if we actually increase the size of our spatial inventory, compile it and save it, we are going to be able to pick those items from the ground. So we picked the AK-47, we picked the grenade, and we picked the knife. So yeah, that's cool thing that we have did in this part. We actually did everything that we need for this part, and I just want to congrats to you because you have made this far. In the next part, we are going to create the visual representation for our items, how they are added in our spatial inventory. So yeah, we're going to do that in the next part. The very last thing that I have to say is to basically don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, and the most important thing that I want from you, if anything is unclear, don't forget to comment down below, and our team is going to help you. So see you in the next part.